So yeah, so eye dominance is super important, and you've gone down that rabbit hole pretty deeply. So why don't you just share with the audience your thoughts on eye dominance and how it affects deep lane?
Sure, sure. So we have to remind ourselves that we are binocular creatures, right? And so we always are going to have a way that we want to see things. And this can be a baseball player, a golfer. My mat's so sloped here, I can't get the ball to sit still. Um, a golfer, a hockey player, it can be anything. It's always going to affect the way that we align ourselves to whatever we're trying to do. If we're a basketball player shooting free throws, we're probably going to look through our dominant eye. Maybe we're going to be taught face it and look completely binocular. Well, golf is odd because
As a former basketball player, I can definitely say that my feet are always face left because I'm right hand dominant, so that I can shoot down my right eye line, and I'm right
yeah,
eye dominant. I'm a right eye
yeah,
dominant person, so I mean it
yeah,
makes perfect sense.
yeah. So golf, this is something that I've struggled with. I have pretty poor eyes, and I'm very right eye dominant. And so oftentimes when I'm out playing, I will commit to just saying, step away, brush the grass, take a small divot, even set up to that divot, and then walk to the ball and don't change any orientation because the eye dominance thing gets me confused. So, what I've started doing is just thinking about it in terms of like just an organic kind of biomechanical alignment where if I think to myself, if I just align my right eye with the golf ball, right, and I realize that low point is going to be over here, if I set up and I think to myself, I'm going to line up to the golf ball, that looks really far back in my stance and my club face is open. Well, if I only want to be square ish, if I would say it that way, somewhere in here at low point, then what difference does it make what my golf club is doing right here? Because that's Mo Norman, right? Mo just put it right here and
Yep.
said, well, I'm already on my arc, right?
Which was
So,
genius. I mean, it was absolute genius. But I think he understood the D plane, and I don't think you can get there if you don't understand the D plane.
no. And so you're right. The D plane gets all canted. So this is what I would see in my vision is that if I wanted to have the golf ball be, say, conventionally off my left heel, as I stand here, everything in front of me that feels the front side of me is back here. So for me to get up there, I feel like I have to go like this. Well, duh, because I'm past my center line and I'm not moving left, which is why the D plane, the driver goes to the right if you're a right hander, right? Because we're already left of our center line. Well, that has to be lined up. And no two people are the same. I'm sure there have to be people who are as severely left eye dominant as a right handed player as I am right eye dominant.
Well,
There also have to,
Ben Hogan was severely left-handed dominant. He was also left-handed,
yeah,
and that's part of the
Jack
reason why
Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus. I believe that he turned his head. Both him and Jack Nicklaus was to zoom in on the ball with their dominant eye.
With their left eye.
That's
Yeah.
right. And
So I have done that to the point where I've hurt my neck. And it's always, my neck has always been a canary in the coal mine for my technique. And you and I have talked about this is a bit of an aside, but we've talked about this of you can start to tell when things start to hurt what you're doing. And I
absolutely.
have, you know, the one that I have that we don't mention on the podcast, but that one is like you're spinning your hips, dude.
Yeah.
You're spinning your hips. You're just spinning that left hip out of the way, and it starts to pull on that sciatic, on that L3. And then every time I feel it, I do my exercises, I do my hang, my inversion, and I go, don't spin. And I come out and I go right back to zero with my basics. I come back out here and I stand and I go like this.
Yeah, why don't you show people how you used to hit the ball, where you would have your preset impact and
Oh
then you
yeah,
would hit.
yeah. So the feeling of greatness drill, right?
Yeah.
So this comes from if you guys when you get a chance, just look up Mo Norman crazy sweater, and you'll find it. He talks about it, and
Oh,
he's
they've all
like
seen it. They've all seen
me
it
and
on my
Hogan, me
channel.
and Hogan, only ones that have it. Feeling of greatness, and man, it's so packed full of some incredible stuff. He takes the club and he goes like this, never like this, always like, or never like this, always like this, and you just listen to it and you're like, it's like listening to Picasso talk about painting. I mean, he's a genius. and so what I would do is, and Bradley has a drill like this. He has a great video where he hits one, and it's so pure, where you just set up and you think, okay. And for me, when I do this now, I really focus on get that ball lined up with your right eye. Forget about what it looks like. I'm going to set and I'm going to over rotate. I'm going to supinate my right arm and pronate my left arm so much that the club is hanging down below my hands. And then I'm going to give a little flick, and then I'm going to compress. We'll see if I can do it. put myself on the spot. Shanked it almost. But it's a hard freaking drill, man. And I've had so many students when I'm on sit there and watch me do it 2 or 3 times and go, oh, jump in there and nearly put one into my neighbor's house. I'm going to turn and face that way a little more, so in case I do kind of hosel rocket one. But still, another one. A little stress. Got the heart beating, see?
There we go.
That's what I love about this game, right? Let's see if I can kind of zero in on it. So, there. And if I do this, which I routinely will, come out here and not be able to do it, take it down a notch, devolve it. Now what I'm going to do is I just call it drop it. I'm just going to take it up, and I'm just going to drop. That was good. That was good contact, right? A little off the toe.
So I'll edit that in post. We won't show your shank, so just do a few of those. There you go.
There we go, right? And then if I get real cocky with it and I start playing around, I'll kind of walk in.
There we go.
That's decent, right?
So that goes back to the eye dominance, though, and I think you being right eye dominant sets you up for more of a Trevino type move.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I
so
mean,
I've always felt very comfortable
you
out
look
here.
in motion just like Trevino when you do the feeling of greatness drill.
Yeah. And so I got to the point, and you remember having these conversations with me. I have done it, but I could never fully pull the trigger on just playing golf from here because I feel like I lose contact with the ground. And that's actually, in a strange way, what put me more on the eye dominance path. I was already on it, but I kind of like, let me go down this harder, because I noticed that when I was clear about what I was doing with my eye and the golf ball, my low point and my interaction with the ground was just so crispy and clean and consistent.
So
because I wasn't trying to manipulate it.
Yeah,
right?
So why don't you tell people how to find you? Because I think what people need to understand is the reason why we're doing this is because I don't give personal lessons anymore.
Right.
I'm too busy still trying to compete, but you do, and you live in Austin, Texas. You can give lessons year-round, and you've been doing it for quite a few successful amateurs in the Austin area, so that have really, really grown to enjoy the way that we teach the golf swing.
Absolutely.
So how do people find you? How do they, if they want personal lessons, what would they do?
Well, I have a channel there. I think you'll post the link for the leverage strike.
Yeah, you'll be able to find it in the description. I'll put up a little visual here for folks too.
Cool. I don't have a whole lot of content, certainly like yours. I'm sort of fledgling in that capacity.
Well, I think you enjoy the teaching one-on-one a lot more than I do. I think
I do. Yeah.
Making videos is fun for me, whereas you're an instructor, man. You love to be in the mix with a student. Right.
Right. And I have a spot in my backyard, so come back here, put some music on. Normally I would, get the blower out, but like I said, we had that big windstorm, and come and hang out, and we'll talk golf, and we'll talk geometry, and we'll blow your mind, get you some new. I'd say that's what most people say to me.